In this series of videos, we are going to walk you through the installation of our new audio systems for the Polaris General side-by-side vehicle. So without further ado, let's head on inside and see how it's all done. All right, guys, I am now joined by Brad with our new product development team, and he is going to help walk us through the installation of our Stage 2 audio system for the Polaris General side-by-side vehicle. So Brad, what all comes in our Stage 2 kit?
So in our Stage 2 kit, we include the PMX source unit, the vehicle-specific dash kit and bracket, the front lower pods, as well as a pair of our RM1 6.5-inch speakers.
All right, and what's the first thing that we need to do to go ahead and get this installation started?
First thing we're going to do is remove the hood and the top of the dash.
Okay, well, let's see how that's done. All right, now that we have the hood removed, we're going to go ahead and remove the top of the dash. Now the dash itself is held in place with a number of plastic rivets that need to be removed. So to do that, we're going to use a special tool designed for removing those plastic rivets, but of course you may not have this in your toolbox. So a small flat blade screwdriver will also suffice. Just be careful because you don't want to scratch up or mar the plastic when using this.
Now that we're ready to install our source unit, the first thing we're going to do is remove the pocket out of the factory location. This will actually make it a little easier to do the wiring. Once we have that out of the way, we'll take our ground wire that has a male and female spades. They will connect to the ground wire on the cigarette lighter. It will work as a T, so everything will still function as normal. Then we'll take our power wire, run it through the factory grommet, and attach it to the stock switch distribution block point.
All right, at this point, we're ready to start prepping our PMX radio into the dash kit to go into the vehicle. So Brad, what's the first thing we need to do to get the dash kit ready?
First thing we do is locate the proper parts. We need our main dash piece as well as the PMX2 adapter. Now we'll assemble those together with 4 screws. We'll mount the PMX unit in there with its 4 screws, then we'll be able to move onto the car itself, where we'll slide it into the factory pocket location using the metal bracket to sandwich it in between. Once we get that, we can mount it with its screws and we'll be ready to move on to the next part.
All right, guys, so at this point, we're ready to go ahead and install our front speaker pods into the vehicle. Now, the pod is designed to rest against the outer side panel and ride on the curved area within the footwell. So when you place the pod in, you're going to position it, at which point then you will mark for the 3 holes for mounting. Once those holes are marked, we'll go ahead and drill through with a drill bit. After the holes are drilled, we'll go ahead and install our speaker wire through the hole in the top of the enclosure, pulling a link through, giving us enough slack to make connections at the speaker. And we'll go ahead and secure it in place with the provided sealing tape. With that done, we can go ahead and move back to the vehicle, install the pod back into its location, and secure it using the 3 bolts that come with the kit. Once the pod's secure in place, we can go ahead and connect the speaker wires to the speaker, mount the speaker with the supplied hardware, and then we can run the speaker wire up through the dash into the dash area where the radio is going to be located. Alright, so as you can see, we now have the driver's side speaker pod installed, and we went ahead and repeated the exact same steps to mount the passenger side speaker pod. Once those were mounted, we ran the speaker wire up into the dash area, and now we're ready to make the final electrical connections in the dash to the PMX radio. To do this, we're going to locate the front speaker outputs on the radio harness and connect our front speaker pod cables to those. Once that's done, we can go ahead and connect our multi-pin power harness to the PMX radio harness, providing the power and ground signal. Once that connection is made, we're ready to power the system up, test everything to make sure it's working properly, and once that's been verified, we can go ahead and start the reassembly process and get the vehicle back out on the road. Alright guys, that pretty much wraps it up for this install. So as you can see, it was pretty easy and straightforward to do. So Brad, is there anything you'd like to add before we cut out of here?
Well, as always, if you have any questions before, during, or after the install, give us a call. We'll be more than happy to help you out.
And as always, make sure you check out our website for more information on all the products we manufacture. And of course, check out the YouTube channel for more installation videos. Well, that wraps it up for us on this one. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again in another video.